Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the Marion Township Board of Supervisors meeting to order. The time is now 9:02 a.m. First item, as always, is the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'd like to ask everyone to please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to be adapting the format of the meeting slightly based on some kind of trial and error, I'll say. We're going to move public comments right up to the front after the Pledge of Allegiance. So that way, if we do have a motion on any of the items around the EMC or the engineer or the roadmaster, we don't have to juggle around. So I'll open up the floor to public comments. I don't see anybody signed in, and there is nobody currently on the Teams. I'll let you know if that changes. Okay. In that case, we'll move into the announcements. So the first one is the air conditioner and heater for the trailer. We had talked about that briefly last month and actually looked into it a little further. The unit is in fact a heater as well, so we wouldn't have to worry about putting it in and then having 6 to 8 months of no use being counted against the warranty that we would effectively not be able to use right. So I'd actually like to put forth the motion of approving the purchase of the heater and air conditioner for the trailer as discussed at last month's meeting.
Is that going to include the labeling of the trailer?
No, separate. I always do motions separately. Separate? Yeah.
Is that the cheapest estimate then?
Well, whatever the cheapest estimate was that we talked about last month for the air conditioner.
All right. I'll second it.
Did we get 3 estimates?
We did. Yes. Yeah, I don't remember what it is. Actually, I'll pause for a second until we do roll call.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Okay. So yes, we did get 3 quotes, and I can't remember what
one was Stolfus.
Yeah. Well, that's I think Stoltzfus was the lowest one out of the group, and it was
2150 at the lowest. Tom Schaefer was 37 or 3800. Camping Wood was 3600.
Yeah, so it was $2,106.98.
I did see them all.
Yeah,
I only have one copy.
Yeah, I've got the current one.
Yeah, because they're all were like in other packets, so.
But bottom line is, I had confirmed it's in the EMC budget.
Are the qualities of the units comparable for
same unit? They're effectively the same unit. The difference, I was just about to say, the labor cost is what changed the price tag. So, okay, the lettering.
We know to get 3 quotes for everything.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, keep everything to the letter. Lettering for the trailer, we got a bunch of quotes for that. Based on my knowledge of how the budget is looking, I would say let's move that to 2026. We only have to write it out for a couple of months, but then we can fit that into next year's EMC budget. The one looking at the graphics, I like. We should try and put the little turtle on there too.
Somewhere. We could design the patch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but
that would be kind of cool.
I think it's a necessary step on making it Marion Township and kind of scream that when you see it at a location.
Can we at least get a temporary sticker or something?
Yeah, I'm sure we can probably put just like sticky letters or it's metal on the side, right? Like we just got a magnet thing.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we come up with
aluminum?
Why don't we figure out if Forrest can make us a big decal with the turtle?
Yeah. And then we can just stick it on there.
For now.
Okay, I like that.
I'm just thinking it's like
the Marion
slowly but surely I'll get there.
Yeah,
Marion.
Yeah, little bits.
The one
bits.
that was
surely
yeah. Let's have Horst's probably like what 24-inch round circle of the turtle.
Yeah, or at least the door sticker or something.
If you look at the door. Yeah, I'll say I think Eileen was asking. It's the little logo up at the top there.
Oh, the turtle that we had.
Yeah, I took the turtle that I had that we had originally done for like the banners and stuff like that. That was based on the old school patch.
Oh, yeah.
And I took that and I actually modified it a slight bit, put the Berks County logo with us like shaded in for Marion on it.
Okay.
And the top bit is actually the bottom bit of the Pennsylvania state flag. So it's the corn and I think it's like hollies or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
You have the turtle carrying a flag?
So yeah, I'll make it a point of trying to call them at some point.
over the next like 1 to 2 weeks. Trailer repair. John let me know that as he was transporting the trailer after a storm, when he had taken it out to look at something, there was a stick, or stick is probably the wrong term. There was most of a tree sticking out into the cartway, and it whacked the front corner of the trailer. It's about $500 to get it fixed, and you got to do what you got to do. So, I'll make a motion to authorize the trailer repair for that one diamond plate panel in the front there.
I'll second it. Is it get covered by insurance?
I actually don't know. It was that. Do you think that would be covered by?
Which is deductible.
Probably $500. So,
five and change.
Yeah.
But Carl did go out and clear those trees.
Yeah.
He was already out mowing that side of the road.
Yeah.
These were the trees that were just up. And I mean, the night before I drove through the exact same spot, there was no tree. The next morning, that's the tree that popped the hole.
Yeah.
And the more trees are down in the exact same spot as of this morning. So it was one of those across the double yellow to get here.
Yeah.
But it's constant. The trees are always coming down right there.
If they're in the right of way, we should probably trim them back. We have to talk to Colin because there's that whole tree law taking thing.
Where is this? What road is this?
That's
William Penn, like right when you like leave our development and you turn right, it's the very last, like where Lee Dice's house is, those houses right there, right after that last one. And even the homeowner was out cutting trees there that were down.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're all sticking out. They're all low. And you can see it's cut out perfectly for any box trucks, UPS and stuff that are driving down there. So a lot of that whole section needs to be cut back. Because anything, once it rains, everything starts leaning a little bit more and then you're whacking. I mean, my mirror on the truck got hit that day. Didn't damage it, flipped it back, but.
Yeah.
We might want to call Aspen and have
what I was actually going to say is we need to talk to Colin because there's weird tree law stuff, even when it's in the right of way because of, decrease in property.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of places, but we should talk to him about that because if it's within the right of way, I think we legally have the ability to say like, hey, we're really sorry, but like this is a hazard. We got to trim these back. But I want to make sure that we're not going to get sued as a response to that because of it.
So step one, let's talk to Colin
on Thursday.
And then
night.
step two, we'll have Carl evaluate where all these issues are.
Yeah, and then
the tree services, they come way farther.
They
back.
do.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like I know there's very specific stuff with like the way Med Ed works with trimming trees and stuff like that because of it sounds.
Used to always trim them in the past.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things between you and I, the township maybe shouldn't have done in the past. So we want to make sure that
that's
we're
causing a problem.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we're doing it to the letter. But yeah, we'll have Carl take a look at it. If it's something that he can do, we'll have him do it. And if it's not, we'll call like Aspen or somebody else and have them do a little remediation. But this is where I'm going to jump forward just a slight second and
Wait a
cover.
minute, we gotta get back. We're in the middle of the motion.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
The GIS system. One of the things that we can flag on that GIS system is places where there are right-of-way issues, like with trees and anything else. So, anyway, jumping back to the trailer repair, the motion still stands. You seconded.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Yeah, I apologize. I sort of meandered there, but
That's okay.
and then
What's that?
yeah, I need it today. And then John, since you're here, do you have anything for EMS report? You don't have to get up. Just said.
So was it 2 weeks ago now, the EMS report, Lisa?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's in, you guys have the packet.
All right, so I didn't do too much with it. I'm not doing too much with it until you guys tell me to do something with it. But the EMS report, countywide, Berks countywide, basically, they want money. There's some townships paying $200,000-$300,000 towards EMS. Number one, we don't warrant a call volume even close to that. But right now, a bulk of Marion Township, our primary EMS is Newmanstown Ambulance. They're the closest by mileage and within 1 to 2 minutes in any different, there's set of locations. I was doing all the mapping on it. But this brought up some other questions within it. When I read the report, and there's a survey, which I did not do, the report is if there is no contract with the township in question and the EMS agency. The EMS agencies aren't getting paid by the insurance companies because there is no contract. So do we, as Marion Township, have any contracts with Myerstown Ambulance, Western Berks Ambulance, or Newmanstown Ambulance? Because those are the three ambulances that do respond into us.
Not that I have seen in the past 7 or so years.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing I could ever find about it. But that is something, I guess I'm assuming a Colin question.
yeah, that would be, we need to talk to Colin Thursday night, and then we would need to talk to each one of those
Yes.
companies individually to see if there's what would be the equivalent of an intermunicipal agreement between us and them as an agency,
Yeah.
without any direct transference of money, or if it would have to be like Western Berks had approached us and said, hey, we want to give you a cut rate on covering the whole township, if that's the kind of contract that they're
And that's a
specifying.
concern for me. And I think it would be concern for everyone in here, because again, looking at the numbers,
It's Newmanstown that's closer.
Newmanstown's a lot closer. And here's one of the issues. As Mill Creek's EMC, I met with Newmanstown Ambulance. They don't even have a contract, and they're within their own township between Newmanstown Ambulance, Newmanstown, Mill Creek, et cetera. So they got to work on that. But they enlightened me and it's not just like between fighting amongst units per se, but I was told from, obviously Newmanstown, Myerstown, Bethel Ambulance, and Muhlenberg, that there's times if the Western Berks ambulance is out of Station 3, which is the Robizonia station, if they are in station, they're within 1 minute, give or take, between Newmanstown responding here. And a bulk of between Myerstown actually covers the Stouchburg area. Stonecroft is covered primarily by Newmanstown, and then Western has from basically 422 north. But but there's still no agreements on who's doing what. But Western thinks they have all of Marion Township, which I'm like, no, you don't, because I know Newmanstown's covering it because it's on the run cards. But Western has been, and I experienced that when I was with Spring Township Fire. They could be at Reading Hospital, and if it's a Station 3 call, we're responding. Because we had a crash at 419 and by Boyers. And Western canceled Newmanstown's rig that was sitting in station. 20 minutes later was when Western Berks showed up.
Okay.
And they've been canceling Newmanstown, because right now Newmanstown is paid during the day. I think it's 6A to 6P is not 24/7, but that's their 12-hour coverage. The volunteers are actually staying in station now to cover evenings. They're probably going to go 24/7. And the fact that, and it could be, again, they could be at Good Sam, and they will say, send the next due. Because of money, other agencies, oh no, we'll still take that. It might take 20 minutes there. But another thing that I'd like to definitely pursue is, in Berks, every other county has it, but Berks doesn't. They leave it up to the provider to decide how they're going to respond to a call. I can say in Mill Creek with Newmanstown Ambulance, they've had a child not breathing, they've had cardiac arrests, and Western, as the ALS unit coming in, has come in, no lights and no sirens. And then goes to the hospital, no lights, no sirens. And they leave it up to the provider. Lebanon County, Schuylkill, every other county, at dispatch, you're told what you're allowed to run by the dispatch. Berks doesn't want to do that because they don't want the liability of a decision like that. They leave it up to the providers. So the ambulance says, well, we're not going to run lights and sirens on most anything. Which, me personally, I would much rather have that. And it might only be 2 or 3 minutes faster, but 2 or 3 minutes is a big deal in a cardiac arrest or something.
Agreed.
Newmanstown being a Lebanon County-based unit, they will come in hot. And I will say, because I was in on their EVOC classes, emergency vehicle operators courses, they're pretty good. Every agency you look at, there will be good eggs and bad eggs in all of them. So nobody's going to be perfect, I'm going to say. But my concern is with them coming in, are they canceling? This is what I want to check with Berks County, because I'm going to do a formal request from Christina Wood. She's in charge of all the run cards and the run sheets. But I want to know, are they officially canceling units that are supposed to be coming in here? because they want the bill for it. And where Newmanstown is an advanced EMT unit, they're not paramedics, but at least you probably remember back to our old EMS days, 95% of what we responded on is not an advanced life support call. It's a BLS call. But if they're not transporting, they can't charge the whole bill. And to my knowledge, Newmanstown right now is they will bill insurance. They're not going after anything after that. Other agencies, they bill the insurance. They will come after, they will send collections, stuff like that. Now, that's all stuff I got to verify. If you want me to do all that, I kind of already started, but if you give me the blessings.
Personally, I would like you to do that. I think from a care standpoint, we need to try to have the fastest response we can.
I want to make sure our people are getting the biggest bang for the buck, shall we say.
And that's
but the safest and most appropriate response, because you were surrounded by ALS units. But 9 times out of 10, if it's a traumatic bleed and stuff like that, I guess maybe it might be 2, but somebody gets run over by a car, somebody can run out and stop bleeding.
Yeah.
That's at you, Lisa. Thank you. Yeah, so as far as the EMS, I mean, it's probably going to take another month or 2. Because I know how one county works as far as releasing information. But as far as that EMS contract, EMS report, I'll try. It won't be for Thursday night, but I'd probably try to have for October for you guys.
Okay.
Something that, but we still need to start working as far as a contract.
Yeah, as I say, we'll talk to Colin of what's possible in terms of contracts.
In my opinion, right now, looking at the maps, I did all the big circles with where all the ambulance stations are based out of. It's maybe a third to just under half of our township. Newmanstown is the closest by mapping, and I love the GIS mapping and the GPS response. And that is probably 75% of our population is covered within that third to half of the township. Myerstown, for the very west end, is the closest out there, and Western Berks is closer when you get up towards like Post and those areas up here. All right, so I guess I'm done as far as EMS.
Sure.
And then fire is a whole other subject, but.
Question? I have a question, John.
Yes, sir.
All these ambulance associations, Mill Creek, Newmanstown, Bethel, Myerstown, Western Berks, are any of them offering an annual membership to the residents?
Everybody puts it out, and that's what I'm trying to clarify, because I know, like where I grew up in Kingston, we have, when we sent out our fund drive, whatever that rate was, whether it was per person, per household, it was $50, $75, whatever it was, that if you were a member, whatever the ambulance would send to your insurance, because Medicaid doesn't want to pay full amounts, etc. If they got 50% of what the bill was, the Kingston ambulance said, all right, you're paid in full.
Correct.
But if you weren't a member, they would still send additional, they would give you up to 3 tries. They would never send anybody to collections, but they would continue to try to get that payment. I mean, obviously ambulances now are $350,000. The equipment in them is almost $200,000 with monitors and everything else. And I can't value the people in them.
I have an annual membership to Western Berks Ambulance.
And that's what we want to see is, and I know what some agencies are doing. They're honoring that. If like, let's say Myerstown comes down to you because everybody's busy, they'll honor that contract you have as far as that fund drive with Western.
Correct.
That's again what I'm trying to clarify, because I don't want people getting 3 bills from 3 different agencies. Like one comes in for transport, one's the ALS provider, and whatever else. Yeah. And that's where that contract will help to hopefully clear a lot of that stuff out. But I don't know what they have as far as Mill Creek.
Does Mill Creek do an annual fund drive?
I would think that they would.
Here's the fundraising side of things, and this is where it was going to lead into my next question for us for fire, is I think it's officially unofficial or vice versa. Mill Creek is looking into a fire tax, a fire levy for Newmanstown Fire and Ambulance, because we just, as volunteers, we don't have the time for the fundraisers. We don't have people to run bingos and flower sales and stuff like that. And there's obviously a huge cost for fire and EMS. And it's just, the money's not there for it. You either want us to respond to calls or do you want us to run bingo, is basically our attitude as far as the volunteers. But when they started with their levy, what they're looking at, the levy they want to put on, fire tax, is less than what the fire and the ambulance bring in donations and fundraisers. So like, they're actually be losing money by going to a tax at what they want to start with. So I'm involved with that is, well, we need to start at a higher mark. And at, I think it was 2,800 properties with almost 5,000 people in Mill Creek, and we're trying to figure those numbers out.
Yeah.
Because, example there, the newest fire truck is a 2004, which you're supposed to replace 20 years, 25 max. Everything's coming up, and like I said, the ambulances are 350. The brand new ambulance that's sitting there now is a year old's got 40,000 miles on it. And it's just another one of these things. Thank God there was finally congressional hearings on the cost of fire trucks and stuff like that, because it's ridiculous. They've gone up, what, 30 to 40% in over 3 to 4 years, quadrupling the annual increase that we have to basically what we get paid for. But then on the fire side of things with that is, I know we talked about it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think Jim was still here in that time period, but we never did much more with it. That in conversations right now, if the fire company, they lose a fire truck, to replace that, it's 2 to 3 years and it's $1 million. They don't have that. So to bring, I guess, and this is where like a little fact finder committee or something between you, the fire company, and probably a few of the taxpayers, of almost like a fire tax committee, let's say. We got to do something with the fire company to support it, because there's no money out of regular taxes for it like what it is right now.
We, just out of the current general, we get about $14,000 in foreign fire relief that we pass directly over to the fire company.
Which doesn't really cover gas or insurance. But,
yeah, well, we also pay their
well, that'd be
insurance.
the workers' comp.
Yeah, we pay their workers' comp insurance too, which is
apparatus
another $24,000 to $30,000 a year.
Because I still know, and again, this was from a few years ago, their health insurance coverage on the workers' comp, that covers the incident that happens. None of anything, like, again, it was John DeSantis, who's the township supervisor in Mill Creek, who's the president of the fire company and one of the engineers, one of the apparatus operators, had a heart attack several years ago. The trip to the hospital and the immediate hospital care was covered by workers' comp.
Nothing
But
happened.
because they didn't have the heart and lung for fire, police, and all that. The fire company never had that. He had to pay everything out of pocket afterwards. And it was 100% because of the fire and everything else where he had his heart attack. And then he wasn't covered after the fact. And I know in previous conversations prior to Steve Weaver and the little information I was able to get, it's like, no, that isn't there, but they need, and it was like, I want to say it was under $5,000.
I think we added that, didn't we? The heart
I
and lung?
don't think we did though.
I think we did.
Okay, if we did,
I think
I'm
we
sorry
did.
for
Let's
talking out
let's check that, because I'm
okay.
like 90%
Okay,
positive that when you brought that up, we were like, yeah,
Because
that.
I don't remember anything ever happening with it. But,
Yeah.
But as far as fire, that if we were able to do something of some kind of fire levy, and I thought, well, emergency services where it covers fire and then EMS, I still would rather myself just strictly for fire, and it'd be apparatus, gear, breathing apparatus, upkeep of station, any of that stuff. It's not for personnel. It's not to put career firefighters in, because we don't need them. Because it's one thing I will always say about Marion is these guys always get out. And I think in some cases they're faster than some of the other places around us that might have a driver on. But if they needed a truck today, their truck goes out of service. It's 2 to 3 years before we could possibly see one. And then one of the fire chiefs that was interviewed, 2023, he bought a fire truck for $674,000. The same manufacturer, he tried to order the truck the spring of this year. The duplicate, exact specs and everything was $1.2 million for the exact same truck. What has changed? I don't care about, all the tariffs on steels and metal, whatever. That's not adding up.
Yeah.
When you have 3 or 4 of all the manufacturers under one parent company, They're basically saying there's a monopoly, and that's where all the congressional hearings are right now. So hopefully comes out of that. But for the future, maybe 2026 timeframe, that we can have that little fact finding and
Let's
do something.
start to figure that out, because
And
we
Steve
are,
and those guys did not know I was bringing this up.
well, and
This is
that's
just stuff I
that's
found.
okay.
No. So first thing we need to figure out is is it legal to even have a tax levy for
It is.
a
Yes.
It is.
independent fire company?
It
Is it is?
It is.
Yes.
Okay. And we've never seen their financial statements. That's one thing that we've never seen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they're rich. I really don't think they are at all. But I mean,
I agree.
and maybe you can work on this relationship with them. I mean, I want the door open both ways fully,
I agree with you.
right?
the other side of it is, if we're gonna do something like that, we do need more information about the ambulances, because it should cover both. It should be fire and EMS.
Yep. And with my job, I work with suppliers every day, and I'm telling you that these tariffs aren't a joke, though.
Oh, I know.
No.
It's affecting all the way down to a hose clamp.
Yeah.
The cost of a hose clamp.
All right, so what
I
else
mean-
did you need me to find out? from
I
you?
need you to check if we added heart and
It's
lung
just
coverage
It's
No, I
to
agree.
terrible.
the workman's comp insurance. I'm like 90% sure that we did, but just double check that. That was like 3 years ago at this point when that got brought up, and I don't think any one of us would have not voted to do
I
that.
remember everybody had agreed, but I don't remember who was here. Was it Jim, Irene? I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
I think
remember talking
I think it
about
was me, Jim, and Irene. So yeah, we'll find that out, and if for some reason it's not on there, we will get it added, because that's a no-brainer.
And with all due respect to our fire company, because I'm very glad that they showed up to the first MTCA event too, and actually are starting to open their arms to the community, which they didn't do before much. But they got rid of a social hall, which could have brought in a lot of money for them, just because they didn't want to have a bar or.
It needed a lot of work.
It did, but
Yeah.
whose fault again was that,
Yeah,
right? Not doing maintenance on property.
not pointing fingers, but that's,
So I
they
mean,
weighed the cost
they didn't,
benefit on that.
they didn't help themselves by getting rid of a social hall
Yeah.
or not doing a social hall, right? If it was planned out right, it could have been a lot better. I mean, I had a conversation with the fire company about, they were upset that they were renting the hall out for $100, and they were upset that one of their wives wanted to clean it, and it would cost $50 to clean it after an event. And I just blew my mind.
Well, that withstanding, the reality is we need to support fire. in some
We
way,
do, and I
shape, or
agree with
form.
that.
And
And
if there's something in terms of protecting people from getting billed 2, 3, 4 times
right,
by,
but we can't have closed-minded ideas.
agreed,
right?
agreed.
And
But-
that's the issue. And if they're gonna close themselves off and only have one chicken barbecue a year too, that's not a good way to fundraise either.
But to that point, like John said, do you want volunteer firefighters
Right.
focusing on fundraising or putting out fires?
I agree, but
So we
all
need to
the
get
successful ones.
We need to get all the information
Have a
together,
social
but I don't, as much as I hate to see any kind of increase on taxes, like truth be told, having adequate fire protection and putting mechanisms in place to protect people's health and well-being, especially when there's an ambulance call, and their financial well-being after that, is important. And if it's a situation where we have to put another $20 on the tax bill to make that happen,
I'm
then
not fighting that at all,
Yeah.
Peter. I was medevaced
yeah,
to Hershey,
Oh,
for God's sake.
I had to get my son taken
I'm-
to Hershey in an ambulance.
Yeah, I'm just
So-
saying, everything has to be run like a business,
Mhm.
and it has to be looked at, and it has to be discussed with an open mind,
Agreed.
because if you just have
Yes.
one, if we have one closed-minded thing and not everything's looked at all angles,
I'm
we get in the
all
shoes we're in now.
for seeing the picture from all sides.
Chicken barbecue.
They
They did.
had one in May and they had
Yeah.
one.
They had two
Yeah, they
this
have
year.
one coming up next Saturday, the
Yeah.
27th.
Okay.
It's a chicken barbecue. They had
But just-
one pork in May.
Fundraising
If
withstanding.
you guys created a public safety committee
Mhm.
and have that group between fire company, taxpayers, if there's one or two of you, whatever that might be, that yes, develop what the issues are, in that we need to think about the future. When I mentioned before about, I wanted to see like a 5, 10, 15-year plan for them, because before we could have done like a 2, 4, 6-year plan. But with how apparatus is, the cost of equipment and stuff like that, where when I started, it was about $1,000 to outfit me head to toe, including breathing apparatus with our old Scott air packs, the old ones. Now it's over 15 grand per firefighter with full and a breathing apparatus. I'm not even talking about the thermal imaging cameras. Just the gear in the air pack alone is almost 15 grand. There's
It's just nuts.
So basically, we're pushing volunteers out by doing, but I personally
If
would like
they're-
my house fire put out.
If they're willing to have a meeting and open the door and have a
Yes,
good
I'll talk to
dialogue.
Steve, if you
Well,
give me his
he's-
permission, I'll
he's-
start. with
Yeah,
Steve.
please do. And he seems receptive. To
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
that's
But
what
as he
needs to
told me
happen.
before,
Yeah.
so like he had to pull me aside a couple times, he's like, John, baby steps. Because there's one thing that the fire service has been famous for, and everybody can say it about a lot of the job. We're 250 years of tradition unimpeded by progress. And that's how it's been. We don't like change. We don't like how things are, but we don't like change. And that's the fire service attitude. You know, 34 years and that's all the chiefs. And it's like, it's not how it used to be. We need to become current. And there's no money for it. So
Yeah. That's a common theme.
I'll start talking to Steve then and I'll have some more information for you by Thursday night.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
And
Okay.
I'm done as far as my
Okay. So we don't have a fire report for today. The engineers,
neighbor.
what?
Now, at least there's one last thing. I apologize. Last month when I brought up about the social media silliness that was going on, and when I had gotten the threat, you told me to immediately call the police. When he threatened, when I did, and the police are involved, and again, the threat was, because I want it on the record here, because I said his wife's name in an open meeting. So Phil Henry sent me that threat via text that if I said his wife's name again, Brittany Henry, that's it. That's my last warning. So the police are involved. I still have yet to get the whatever disposition they did, but I don't know what's going forward with it. But I just wanted that on record again that because it was since the last meeting when she said I'm selling equipment to the township that I've never done, and I know.
Yeah, everybody that has visibility into the financials and anybody that wants to see the financials, you can write to know it at any time. We're happy to share. We're transparent, but
So I said her name again.
yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah, I had to do a right to know request for the EMT stuff. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I had to do one recently, and I can tell you right now, there's not much that township has bought for
Oh.
EMC, basically phones, signs, stuff like
And a
that.
lot of that stuff's been
So
donated to
that's-
the fire company.
Yeah, as I say, we bought that through MSI.
Trailer,
and
drone,
those were
all the
grants.
equipments were done with grants.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
talking about this topic, there is a drone, supposedly, I have 2 reports of it
Yeah.
Oh, so
flying
that's
around the township.
Yeah,
that's under
mine.
secretary, and
It's
it
not
is
ours.
not ours.
It's not
Yeah.
ours, so just
Ours
know
is
So
that.
we'll-
bright orange.
We'll cover that in a second. GIS, did you get a hold of?
I have been working with Solve IT
Okay.
and Troy, SDE to get everybody together to get this all taken care of. So it's a matter of coordinating everybody's time to
Okay,
get
good.
it installed and start working on it.
Okay. The saldo is compiled and edited. SDE is going to give us the draft once we have the third supervisor on. That way we can discuss it collectively as a full quorum board. Carl's not here this morning, but we don't need any new equipment. We're looking at pricing for a new brush for the side mower to clean up grass clippings. The one that we have is shot. Carl got a couple of quotes for pole buildings to move the trucks out of the building into there. I think we should try and get grants for that next year, like hit the March 2026 grant submission cycle on that and see if we can't get any traction there.
We need something.
We need something, and we need to look for alternative funding sources.
Yeah.
Carl says he needs like one more load of cold patch for the rest of the year. Road work has started in one spot. The rest of it should be before the end of October. We're looking at trading in the boom mower and the big truck to get probably potentially just a tad.
So that needs to
Different
be
attachment.
approved yet on
Yeah.
here. It needs to be
I wanna
approved to put
talk-
the boom mower and the big truck on municipal if that's the way we're gonna do
I
it.
think that's the way to do it, and I want to talk to Carl Thursday night about just general strategy on that, because I
He
think
will not be there Thursday.
Oh, he's not gonna be there?
Vacation this week,
Oh,
so.
that's right. Okay. So we'll talk about it Thursday night.
Okay,
But I think that's the smart move on that, and then we'll just kind of pivot and get something hopefully that we can put onto the bigger John Deere tractor as a boom attachment.
right.
And then I still think we should see, I think we need some sort of kit for the front there to be able to use the the full PTO on the front. Because it does have a
Call it.
PTO attachment, but I remember there being some reason we couldn't use the snow blower on the
Unless you don't
front.
want it.
And it might just be a bracket or something, I don't know. But let's talk more about that Thursday night. Lisa, we're still working on the sign out front. That one's largely on me. I just haven't
Yeah.
had the time.
Looking into the fuel cards.
We already approved the feral cat
Yeah.
thing for next year, so I would say go ahead and take that off the agenda for next month. Road crew uniforms, yellow shirts and jackets. Yellow shirts, I would say they could probably get just safety shirts as part of their thing, but we should, if we're gonna do anything, get them jackets potentially that have like Marion Township lettering and stuff on them. So Lisa, if you could find out what it would cost to get a couple of maybe like windbreaker jackets for like the spring, summer, fall, and maybe something a little heavier for the winter. I would say 3 of them, one for Carl, one for Abby, and one for John or whoever else is rotating in.
Okay.
You think three would be fair? Because like we can rotate around.
Who's our active road crew and
John,
What do they
Abby,
need?
and John would be the 3. And if like, for example, if we have 3 heavier jackets and only John and Carl are able to go out plowing and we have like you or I able to step in, we just grab the 3rd jacket.
okay.
That's at least my thought.
What happened to all the jackets we purchased last year?
Thank you.
There's 2 of them, and I think they might be too small, because we had gotten them sized for Butch. Like I would fit them, but I know Carl and John would not fit them.
Where are those anyways?
They're in the township building, or they're supposed to be. Supposed to be back in the garage.
I mean, we spent a lot of money last year on
That
safety
was
equipment.
2 years ago, I think, and we bought, I think it was 2 Carhartt jackets with lettering.
I didn't see him in the building and
I
I'll
haven't
have to look for them. They should be in there. But either way, if we're short,
Kelly, do you think we spent more than for 2?
I don't know.
we can look back, but I remember buying 2. We had gotten a heavy jacket for Butch and a hat, and a light jacket.
Wizard jackets.
Yeah.
We got spring jackets. We got
Yeah,
reflective jackets.
We got-
bought all kinds of
we got
jackets.
like the vests, the little like pull-on vests.
Yeah.
We have. I know we have because we actually found them in the course of doing the stuff for the car show this year. So those I know we have still.
I
But
would say check your inventory.
Yeah,
before you
if-
go purchasing.
yeah, if memory serves me though, we had 1 heavy jacket that was a medium, which again I would fit, but like Carl and John will not fit. And we had a 1 windbreaker for Butch because Butch was effectively the only active road crew person at the time.
So going forward from now on, what we should do is create an Excel spreadsheet on who has
Well,
what.
yeah, yeah. We'll just
So
sign
then we
things.
know
It's
where
a-
it is, who
it's a-
has it.
It's a CMDB. It's like I said, it's supposed to be in the building.
Right.
Beyond that, if we have more than like 1 or 2 jackets, we should probably just get like a coat rack or something like that, or like a little thing where you can hang the stuff. Cause like we don't have
Yeah.
that at this point. They're just, I think, in a like pile somewhere.
And do we have an Excel spreadsheet of all your assets, John, or do you?
Yeah, John was
Okay.
John was getting that together.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Cause that way we know what we have.
Mhm.
Because I haven't seen any jackets in that building.
Yeah.
Or shirts.
Like I said,
or
the last
windbreakers,
time
anything.
I saw it was in the garage in the back, like on that desk thing where the heater room is.
Okay.
They were there. But that was quite a while ago. So they might have gotten moved. They might have gotten stuck in a box. They might be in the truck. I don't know. We have to look.
I can even check on that today.
Yeah.
and see what's there.
I can tell you Carl's been using his own,
Yeah.
because when we had that incident,
Mhm.
here, he went in the truck and got out his jacket
Mm.
that he had to actually throw it out because it got
Trashed.
blood on it.
Mm.
And I said something to him and I'm like, when he was throwing it out, I'm like, that's yours, isn't it? He goes, yeah. So I said, well, do you have more? And he goes, I'm not gonna check when I get home, but he goes, I think I might have another one. So that's why I put it on here, because it's like, he's using his own and he uses his own jacket.
I'll make a trip today to the
Yeah.
building
Say
and see what we
double
have in
check.
there.
My memory is that, like I said, we have 1 of each. And then we have like 5 or 6 of the little, like the cyclist safety vests that are just like the Dayglow yellow and the reflectors. We probably should get more. And I know we do have it in the budget for like road crew and equipment for that sort of thing. If it comes up, like if somebody, oh yeah, I got blood on my jacket and it's got to get thrown out or whatever. So let's start by figuring out what we have, but I'm almost positive.
We know for
We
a
don't-
fact we're gonna need to get Carl something.
We
'cause
know
Carl's
Carl's tall.
way taller than Butch was.
Yes. and
Oh.
John,
And John's.
John's
Yeah.
taller and he's a more stocky fellow.
Yeah.
Not this John.
Yeah, not that John, John Claypool. A jacket that would fit me would not fit Carl or John. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, it would be funny to see him try though. So let's figure that out, and then maybe for Thursday night we can put in motion, like if we know, oh yeah, we only have one jacket, or jacket's MIA right now, we'll find it later, but we know we need a couple of things for
And
people.
it has to be class 3 because we do have highway that goes through, which means it has to be not a vest. If they have their high vis jacket per se, they can wear a class 2 vest. But if they're wearing just a vest, that the class 3s have sleeves and that's DOT.
Yeah.
And it's still cheap for stuff. And I've been down to 911 rapid response down in Anvil. They have all of this stuff there. And I'm saying pretty close to Amazon pricing. It's not custom, but I don't think
It doesn't have to be.
Need that, but
Yeah.
they have all the stuff is sitting. So if nothing else, they can go down to try stuff on. Then if you were to, we would ever do that and then buy it on Amazon, but
Yeah. Yeah, noted. Okay. Next board meeting is going to be at the Conrad Weiser Elementary School. That's on the 25th at 7 p.m. We're going to have Hydra Terra there to discuss the current Act 537 and progress on that whole sort of situation. The PO box is being canceled effective September 30th because we're just switching the address to here. We don't need it anymore. And Jesse, as you mentioned, people are complaining about drones on Main Street. These are not our drone. Our drone is fairly large and very brightly colored.
And the reports I got were it's looking in people's windows, which that's not cool.
That's not cool. It's not cool. But I shared this story with you guys before when I was doing the roof on my house 2 or 3 years ago. A little tiny, Target, Walmart drone or whatever came buzzing by, stopped, looked at me for a while, and then kept going. So there are people flying personal drones around doing dumb stuff with them. And unfortunately, there's really not much that we can do about that. John.
What, anybody that's flying these drones right now is an FAA violation. When we were at the police incident, I forgot to mention that, when we had the bombs over in Newmanstown in Milton, by Lisa's neighbor. I did fly the drone over there for PSP's request while we were there. And we actually had drones flying in under us. One of it was, and I know it wouldn't be the suspected one here, it was Fox 43. And an officer went over to talk to their pilot. There was no way they could see their drone. And he started getting a little mouthy with the officer. And he's like, all the officer had to say is, how do you have visual line of sight by FAA law? He immediately landed, put it in his vehicle, said he was with Fox 43 and left. And they were flying under us over there. And I actually have the video of him coming up right over the troopers' heads. And the trooper asked, they actually came over to us over at Ladder 47 and the command post. And any of you guys have any bird shot 12 gauge in your cars? Because they were going to shoot it. They were going to take it down.
Yeah.
Which that's a whole other issue. Even they can't shoot it down. There's no fly zone or a no fly zone or anything. But we're seeing that constantly. PSP, when they're flying, there's been one occurrence now, one of the private recreational drones impacted the skids on the PSP trooper. They've taken aircraft down out in California. And I said, if you get a call, you tell that person, call the police right now. Try to get a picture of it. You're not going to see the numbers if they legally even put their registration on it, because it has to be on the device. Again, ours, the ones we have, they transmit the entire time. As soon as I turn it on, it's transmitting a code that if whoever's looking at PSP and whatnot, I actually don't know what the device is, but I know police can get them. They can actually see who's flying. It'll give it the GPS coordinate if you're legal. But these people probably aren't. I said, we've recovered 2 drones in the last 2 years in people's yards. They just go in the garbage because, if you get them at Target or whatever. But it's like, ours bright orange with flashing lights. We're not hiding anything when ours is up.
You can't.
And even if I'm in close to town, I'm still 200 feet and up. I'm not getting close to people's houses. Though we can, I'm not doing it. I'm staying as high as I possibly can as long as we can view the scene. Like we were up at 390 feet for situational awareness for the bombs.
So there is a law pertaining to private drones though and safety, right? If,
Yeah,
if
if
the
drones-
drone
They have
is
to be
endangering your
registered.
Yeah,
safety.
well, if drones are over a certain size,
0.55 pounds,
they have to be
registered.
registered and you actually
And
have
that's
to
why
have
they
an
have those little
FAA.
tabletop helicopters and stuff you can fly. They don't apply to anything, but that's not what these people are probably seeing. And it is illegal. It's illegal surveillance unless you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, but that would be a police, and their drones are a heck of a lot bigger than the toys you see flying around. If somebody is in your window, call the police. Do not try to shoot it down. Do not even try to hit it with the garden hose, because then you can have FAA charges against you. Call the police. And that's going to be another conversation. I just started with Dronick, but what can we do about this? Because, we're not allowed, it's not like the PD is going to go out and buy $100,000 device just so we can read, registrations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do have an email into the FAA out of Lancaster Airport. What can we do about this?
Yeah.
Because we brought it up because of the guy flying illegally over at the police incident.
Yep.
So when I get a response, I'll let you know on that also, but it's frustrating.
Did you have that as a note on the EMC report? Just FAA/drone.
Yeah, we need to let the people know what they can do.
Yeah, I think education is a component on this so that hopefully people stop doing stuff that they're not supposed to, because ignorance isn't a defense, but it's possible that people are just like, oh, I'm flying my drone around.
It's not arrogance if you look out your window and it's staring at you, if that's true.
Yeah,
If that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
That's-
ignorance. If
That's
you're hearing
disrespect to
Agreed.
whoever owns that house. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
There's gotta
probably,
be somebody in town. 'Cause
Yeah,
a lot of those.
they're very short
signal
distance.
Doesn't go that far.
Yeah.
Like the higher end, like, yes, I can go 2 miles away and actually farther as long as I have the line of sight. But if they're not standing there looking at their device, they're an FAA violation. That's a fine.
And there's different licenses, right, based off of you being, first responder category versus
There's a
private.
change. Like even as of today on my Part 107 license, I still need to have visual line of sight, no matter what. There's a Part 108 that they're working on that is in my device, and it's transmitting all the signals and stuff by law. I can then fly remotely by looking just at my screen, and I don't have to have the visual line of sight, but that is for public safety.
Mhm.
That's going to be a change. We don't have that yet. So I still have to be able to see the drone. That's why I added extra strobes to it.
So
It
if,
sticks out.
so if there's a drone flying in town, that person should technically be outside within the
Yes.
line of sight of that drone.
They should be able to see it.
which I can pretty safely say they're probably not.
Yeah.
Right. But it should
They
be.
should be. Yeah.
And here's,
They also shouldn't be looking at people's.
somebody had
photos.
asked about this, well, can I come out and look? The thing is, that is then considered a surveillance issue. Like I can't help code enforcement. If somebody wants to look into somebody's property, I cannot do that. That's illegal.
Mhm.
But like somebody says, well, if they're flying, can you come out and find them? No, because then that's an illegal surveillance. I'm not getting involved with it. It's illegal, but I'm not getting involved with it even as a favor, not doing it. So if somebody's out there, it's easy enough. Somebody's going to be standing there looking, because most of the time, especially the cheaper drones, their control is not going to work from inside the house at that distance. They got to be outside. Now it's vigilante isn't what I'm trying to avoid. Is now somebody sees somebody with their phone in their hand thinking they're controlling, they get tackled or something. Call the police. Don't make contact. If you get a picture of that person, which again, now people taking pictures of people. It's in the public. If you're out in public, yes, anybody can take your picture. It's just, this is a can of worms. It's a 55-gallon drum can of worms at this point. But call the police. Let them handle it.
How much of it is really exaggerated here?
Probably a lot.
Some of it's probably exaggerated, but like with any situation like this, there's always a grain of truth. And even if it's one time that somebody's flying a drone and peering in people's windows, it's one too many. So we'll keep that on the agenda of things to try to
I'll be
figure out.
next week, the Keystone Emergency Management Association Conference next Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And there's 3 presentations on drone because myself and Justin Schlotman are doing one of them. And there's some of the big time drone officials with the state. We've already requested a half hour to talk to them alone. And this is one of the things. Yes, we know our drone transmits the registration at all times as soon as it's turned on, but what are we doing? Like, how can we see that? Like, what is there?
Yeah.
What devices and whatnot, maybe the state issue, each county one. I don't know. But this is all the questions we're trying to ask. Like, how do we find out who's flying?
Yeah.
Because I don't want anybody looking in my windows.
Mhm.
Scar people for life, but
Yeah, no, it's, we gotta,
thanks, Dan. Got a
um,
little feedback there. I appreciate that.
I got the job.
Well, I think all of us at our age now, we would scar everybody, anybody
Yep.
for life.
okay, moving right along, police EMS, we already talked pretty much at length on that. We'll have the Tulpahawken PD and EMS reports at Thursday night. Just as a general reminder, if you haven't gotten your septic system pumped and inspected, now's as good a time as any to do that. There, we have a list of registered pumpers available in the office here. You can call in, you can stop in, we'll be happy to provide it. And we are still accepting letters of support around the proposed sewer projects. You don't have to be in favor of the sewer, you just have to be in favor of us asking for money. Going into the main items on the agenda, number one is the restoration of the current building. We haven't gotten the report yet. That should be
By the end of the
possibly
month,
this
beginning of-
month, possibly beginning of October. So if all other things being equal, we should have that for October's board meeting to discuss and review. Playground maintenance and equipment. Carl has priced out, it's about $100 for the swing and the chains. He suggested doing this for the 3 swings, which would be a cost of $300. I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Okay, and it's not on the agenda, but I would like you to add it for Thursday night. We need to approve replacement of the basketball nets because they've gotten damaged. So
Yep.
They already replaced them, so we would have to ratify.
we just have to ratify it,
Okay.
but because of the, sunshine law stuff being what it is, make sure that it's on the agenda as a specific item for Thursday night, please.
Are you putting the chain baskets?
Yeah, we're replacing those because they've just gotten broken, that there's some links missing on them. We'll have to see. I don't know if it's even worth trying to fix them. They're cheap enough as it is, but maybe just keep the other ones on spare and then we can start cobbling them together. But
Yeah.
future planning, we don't really have anything to discuss on that today. We've got enough short-term problems to try to put out at the moment. Short-term and long-term rentals, Kraft is going to get the 2026 rental letters out by November 1st. Joint comprehensive plan, we had a meeting on the 21st of August. We already reviewed costs and approved that, so you can go ahead and take that one off of the agenda.
They're gonna have another meeting,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
we'll just put that where they're gonna have a follow-up meeting.
Okay.
and the public can attend those. as
Yeah,
well,
that's a
right?
public meeting. That is a public meeting.
Did you see the dates on those?
I-
The one
I
we-
did not.
The one we can't do because it's,
Our township meeting.
our township meeting. Is it October 16th?
The other one was October 16th.
Okay, I mean, we can make that work. I can make that work, I think.
I think said you were on.
I'm on vacation. I don't know if I'm going anywhere yet, but I can try to make it work.
Well, I mean, as long as there's,
I mean, I do think that this joint thing, they gotta respect when our meetings are, so we should have two other
yeah, I agree.
alternative dates. Well,
Yeah.
at least one other one.
I mean, honestly, if it gets pushed to November, that's not the end of the world either.
No, and someone is having a heart attack on it.
Yeah, whether you got to update the plan every 10 years, whether it goes another month or not before we approve it is really inconsequential. So I would see if the 16th works for you, I can make that work. But
Okay.
if it doesn't work for you, we push and say, do it in November.
Well, the November 20th, we can't do.
Well,
Because
they
they
can-
already
they
have a
can-
date because we have our board meeting.
They can pick a different day other than the
That-
20th.
Yeah.
That they need to do. They need to give
Yeah.
us 2 dates that are not our board meeting.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Agreed. Okay. Trash dumping. I don't think we've had any recent dumping. Carl did put up a camera at the park for the dumping there. I don't know if we've gotten anything yet, but that's done.
You want me to remove that one too?
Yeah, go ahead and remove that one. Trash collection, based on feedback from the attorney, we're getting stuff prepared so that when the 3-year contract comes up, we can put it out for RFP with the revisions. Hopefully try to bring that cost down, whether it's JP Mascaro or anybody else.
We need to make it more appealing to bid.
Yes, yeah. And just for everybody's understanding, we put it out for public bid. It goes out, people get notified. We as a board, and this seems kind of counter to what would make sense, but it's the law. We are not allowed to call and solicit places to say, hey, this is out for bid. We want you to bid on it. We are
If-
not allowed to do that because it's viewed as a preferential
If the
treatment.
community wants to do that
Yeah, and say
and
just,
say, hey, this is up for bid at a certain time,
you want
that's a
to
separate
poke
issue.
people, you can, we legally cannot.
Peter, do you have any idea what your cost per unit is on trash collection in your current contract?
Yes, it's $126 a quarter for trash and recycling.
126 a quarter.
Yes.
Okay. Could that price come down if perhaps Stonecroft Village was involved in that contract?
It's possible. There is a certain economy of scale on that. There's nothing preventing us from including you on that, other than that the HOA opted out of that. So if the HOA wants to approach the board and say that we would like to be part of the collective trash service agreement,
Vice versa?
well, we
I don't think we can reach out to them.
we wouldn't be able to join you guys. Yeah, because it has to be publicly bid, and I doubt you guys are publicly bidding. You're probably just soliciting bids from a bunch of people and then picking one.
Well, we solicit for 3.
Well, yes, yeah. The process for municipal entities is going to be a little different than a private institution like an HOA. So if we, again, just to kind of bring this back to a finer point, if the HOA says, hey, the next time our trash contract is up, we want to connect in with you guys and we want to work with you on making sure that, everybody gets the right trash service for Stonecroft residents, for agriculture, for, people in town center, then I don't see a problem with that. Of the consolidation things, that's by far the easiest.
Well, as we all know, it's not going down in price.
Oh, no. And that was what whacked us the last time, was
Is anything
cost.
going down in price?
No, everything's going up in price, and a lot of the trash and recycling costs have increased because China has stopped taking a lot of the material, which if it's done domestically, it's a lot more expensive, which then, as we know, ratchets the cost up. One of the feedbacks that Mascaro had was there are some things that we can change in how we're bidding that out that will offer a very similar, if not the same service, but will contractually be very different and will help bring that price down. From feedback from Colin, because of the whole public bidding situation, things that would be very easily done in private contract in terms of amendments or change orders and things like that, we can't do or shouldn't do legally because then it violates bidding rules.
We
So-
both have budgets coming up.
Yeah.
In November.
So chances are I'm going to budget for what it is currently plus about 10% is what I usually do for creep on that. But if we can bring it down 2026 into 2027 in terms of putting that out for RFP and renegotiating the contract potentially with JP Mascaro, or if there's another vendor, then that just means that we come in under budget, which is fantastic.
Okay. I'm fine. Just a question to try and save.
Oh yeah, like I said, I am not opposed to that. I'm not even, will not touch the road situation because that's a whole sticky thing unto itself. But
I know.
the trash billing is an easier one. Whenever the sewer stuff goes in, you guys would be still through Wilmelsdorf, but you'd be a bulk rate customer rather than an individual customer. There's an opportunity there again for some economy of scale that could actually lead your price to come down a little bit. There's things that we can do, but there's some things that are really complicated to try to do otherwise.
No, I know.
So, anything further on that? Okay, then we'll keep moving right along. Township property, John's got the start of things being logged in. I've got some stuff that are going to be logged in, to your point, when everything is kind of cataloged. Barcode stickers are going to go on it, and then we'll have a CMDB. It's a configuration management database that will list what the asset is, when it was purchased, what the purchase amount was, if we have a copy of the invoice, and if it's permanently affixed or assigned to someone, like this thing is on the truck, or this thing is a jacket signed up to John, or whatever. We're in the process of getting that together, but right now we're still gathering all the pieces. Snow emergency, I asked Lisa to take that off of the agenda for right now because I've, as of last month, we had turfed that over to Colin and Troy about writing up what the process would be for making that proper and legal for doing the alternating days for when we declare a snow emergency, we allow parking on like the north side of Main Street. And then the following day, we only allow it on the south side of Main Street. That way both sides can be fully plowed. That ball's in their court, so I don't think we're going to have anything to discuss about it until maybe November, December. But she'll remind them, but there's no reason to have it on the agenda.
So should I leave it on for Thursday night?
Leave it on for Thursday night.
to,
Yeah, leave it on for
remind
Thursday
them and
night, but then for next month's cycle
Okay.
of meetings, then we'll take that off.
Mm.
History items, again, there's really not much there. We need to figure out what's going on with the church organ. Otherwise, until we make a decision on donating or stewarding certain things with Tulpehocken, really not much to be said or done about it. The committee for the building, which consists of Matt Barnhart, Billy Koval, Beverly Brossman, Susan Peak, and Sarah Hadfield. They're working on deciding the day of the week and time that they want to meet. I know there were some notes here, but quite honestly, thank you. Yeah, as long as they decide amongst themselves what day of the month they want to do it, we can advertise it. It really doesn't bother me if they want to do it at a Monday at 7 or a Tuesday at 7 or a Friday at 7, which would be silly, but whatever. Whatever works best for them is what we'll go with. So whenever they decide that, we'll advertise and we'll start having them do committee meetings.
Can they decide that by Thursday night so we can get the ball rolling?
If they can. So Kelly, just to that
If they
point,
show up.
even if they don't decide by Thursday, we can authorize the advertisement of their decision at the meeting. So whether they decide it the day after the board meeting or a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever, they just tell Lisa, Lisa tells the paper. So we can sort of preempt that a little bit without knowing the exact thing. Because as far as the board is concerned, like, again, you can meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter. Dumping trash at the park, we already talked about. Carl put the signs and the camera up. We'll see if we catch anybody doing that. Conrad Weiser Soccer, we haven't heard back from them on where they want to put that 8x12 shed.
Looks like spring-ish.
Spring 2026, but they still need to tell us where.
Yeah.
Say the when's good, but we need to know where they want to put it. Trash ordinance letters are going to be sent out to businesses and farmers in the area about the change in the ordinance. This largely is just a proof of trash and recycling that has to be sent to the township. Cancellation of credit cards. Irene's credit card is in the process of being canceled. Supervisor appointment. As we know, Irene resigned. Todd Crick and Dennis
I couldn't remember Dennis's last name
It's
when
okay.
I was doing it. So.
It's okay. We're interviewing with that. We're going to make it an appointment Thursday night. Todd, you and I are going to meet with Kelly and just kind of discuss a little bit after the meeting. Treasurer, we need to have the bond notarized for Dan. Dan should already have access to make deposits
He does.
and pull account statements, which are the two things that the treasurers need. And then there was also a request from Dan and Lisa for some QuickBooks training. There are some PSATs virtual classes, but there is one that's $650.
That's for the quick
For
box
the
training.
QuickBooks training.
Ridiculously too high.
Yeah.
We need to find something.
Agreed. I'm not opposed to training, but I was going to suggest that we maybe try to find something at a slightly lower price tag.
Peter, every time I talk to a company, I ask them,
Yeah.
do you folks use QuickBooks?
Yeah.
And do you have somebody that can come spend some time with us?
Let me look and see if there's anything that I can come across, because like I can ask the people at work that do learning and development to see, because like we don't use QuickBooks, but they may know of like, oh yeah, there's this platform somewhere that does it.
Lisa and I would prefer an on-hand, someone sitting right here with us.
That might be harder, but
Online,
yeah.
Online doesn't work.
Okay, that might be more difficult.
Is this
but-
650 online or in person?
I would prefer in person.
Is there anything
And
at
the
like?
650 would be virtual.
Okay, so that's kind of a non-starter
That
anyway.
security is virtual, and they'll take control of the computer.
See, and that's another thing because,
Because the whole thing it's all by team.
yeah.
But look and see if there are any like basic accounting like QuickBook courses at like Hack or
Believe me,
Okay.
I've been searching everywhere.
okay, because I know when I
checked
was
Rack, I checked, number of places.
Yeah.
YouTube, you could go on YouTube.
Well, this-
It shows you
Yeah.
a lot.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good in a
that's what
pinch,
I
but if you
picked
want to
up.
do some fundamental training,
I have the
I'll-
book that I bought.
yeah,
Those things, but there are just certain things within township second-class code, PA government things that need to be done that just, you really need the hands-on.
yeah. Is PSATs?
there's a couple PSATs classes that are gonna be virtual classes that he can take.
Well,
Well, I mean,
PSAC's doing one on the 24th, and it's the third in a series on budgets.
Okay.
That's not gonna help me too much.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's really one for you.
You would
That's
think,
more-
but there probably isn't. There's a lot of that.
What about Northampton Community College or Carbon Community College?
Well, I mean, we should, Dan should look around, because like, I'm not opposed to getting you guys some training on that, because it's a simple preventative thing to avoid mistakes.
Yeah,
Um,
well, trust me, you're gonna have them.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, but if it's a simple thing that we can try to cut that down, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah, because I know,
The biggest thing is trying to get through the code of accounts.
yeah,
Once I think Lisa and I get the code of accounts down where we know where we're putting things, you've got 7 or 8 different accounts
yeah,
that you're working with.
yeah, there's,
And boy, you can put the wrong check
yeah,
or the wrong bill in the wrong account.
there's a little bit of nuance there, because there's a lot of things that are very similar. And if something does get moved, because I've seen it happen, it's a thing. We can always change the code of account later. That's an easy reconciliation activity.
Yeah, I know.
But with that said, if there's something that we need to do to help get you guys more firmly planted and have that be a more routine and expedient process, I'm not opposed to it. But let's try to find something that's going to be a good fit for you guys, and is hopefully going to be maybe with a little bit less sticker
I
shock.
mean, I'd rather not spend more than 10 hours a week here.
Oh yeah, well yeah, no, it
Right
needs to get
now.
done, and I'm glad you're doing it. But we also don't want to see you slaving away like 20 hours a week, because that's not great for your schedule, and it's not cost effective for us.
It's not cost effective for
Um,
you, for me to try and sit here and teach myself.
So yeah, I'll look and see if I can pull up any resources. Like I know when I was in college doing my associate's degree many years ago, I had several accounting courses, and the entirety of the course was GAAP principles, but we used QuickBooks to do it. So everything was direct, like, okay, if you're doing a reconciliation against a bank statement, here's how you do it, and it's done in QuickBooks. So-
Most people are switching away from that system. They're going to a different system.
Out of curiosity, what is the other system?
B2 something?
I've never even heard of it. Okay, well, either way,
We gotta look at
we should maybe look into that and see if that's something that we want to shift towards too, if that's an industry shift happening. But get more details on it. I'm not inherently opposed to it, but we just want to make sure that it's the right fit.
Yeah.
Start looking into it too.
When I saw the 650
Hey, more eyes are
per
better.
hour, I said, no way.
Yeah. Okay. Tax collection. Eileen, I know you had sent something to me, and I asked you to pass it over to
Yeah.
Lisa.
The county has changed their policy. I used to be able to just call them and say, so-and-so doesn't live there, whatever, and they would allow me to waive the penalty.
Hmm.
Now they're telling me I have to come to you first to say you're okay with the penalty being waived. And then I can go to the county and say, township says, okay, what do you think?
Okay. So from what you had said, there were people that either didn't receive the bill or they went to the wrong address because of
I have two
moving
of
or.
them. One of them, they bought the house in February. The tax came out in March and it went to the previous owner, who now lives in New Jersey. And that's where it went. So it came back to me.
Okay.
The second one is at the end of town. The address that's on the bill, he said, doesn't even exist. So it
Okay.
came back to me also.
Okay.
I have two others where, and I know the people, then they do pay every year in discount. They never got their bills.
Okay. I mean,
So I have 4 people who would like, 2 of them, I believe, are definitely warranted,
Mhm.
but they
I
said,
would say with the amount of problems that we've had with mail here lately, it's entirely believable that something got lost in the mail.
oh, yeah.
So my personal stance on this is that all
Waive it.
seems warranted. So let's, I'll make a motion to approve the waivers of the late penalty for those 4
Okay.
individuals as specified by the tax collector.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Okay, the annual audit was completed. Barbara Akins, however, though, is no longer going to be doing auditing for municipal entries like the township, so we need to find a new auditor for next year's audit. I'll start looking around, but Lisa, if you can query about that. I know financial accounting firms specifically that will do auditing. Very few of them do municipal auditing. You might need to call PSATs to see if they have any recommendations, because it might be somebody that's outside of our immediate area.
Lisa, an easier way maybe would be calling everybody that's in Burke's joint zoning and seeing who they use.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
If they want to be joint zoning with us,
Yeah, let's play nice
they
in the sandbox.
need to be partners more. So let's do that.
I think if I look back in my emails, because sometimes I'm bad with deleting some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Last year, there was a township that was going through the same thing, and they sent an email to all the townships. And everybody was sending in who they used and who they recommended. and
Okay.
stuff. So I'm gonna go look back and see if I can find that email.
Have you checked with Ray Bolt Accounting up in Myerstown?
I doubt it. The last time that we had to do this was 4 years ago when we switched off of RKL to Akins.
I'll check with Larry.
Yeah, if you know somebody, let's get, ideally, I'd love to have like 3 quotes
Yeah,
for professional
of course.
service. Just prefaced with the fact that it may be hard to find 3 places that do this because it's pretty specialized. But yeah, let's get as much information as we can to the table. If you know somebody, let's get a quote.
I'll check with Larry.
Okay. Next is the Civic Plus, which is the website. We need to renew the contract. It's hard to believe that 3 years has already elapsed. There's a slight increase on the price, which again, I'm not shocked by. Everything's going up. Unless we want to shop around on that, which would require, because of the way intellectual property works for websites, is we'd have to get the website rebuilt. My personal recommendation is we just renew it. So if we want to do that now, we can do that now. We can just do it Thursday night.
We can knock it out today.
Yeah,
There's less on the agenda.
Less on the agenda Thursday night. So I'll make a motion to renew the Civic Plus contract.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Anything we can get done today, let's get it
Yeah,
done
let's get
today
it done.
because
That way we don't-
Hydroterra is going to come in.
Yeah, it's going to be a long meeting. Okay, next is setting the trick or treat night. As always, I like having this on October 31st personally. I think that's just a good fit. I'll make a motion to set the trick or treat date and time for Halloween, Friday, October 31st, starting at, I think we usually do 6 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Okay. Berks County Association of Township Officials is their next convention is the Thursday, October 16th, 5 to 9:30 at the Ole Fair Center. If I can go, I'll try to go, but we may have the.
Right there is our
joint-
second date.
That's the second date that the joint
Oh, it is.
planning commission.
Tell them
thing.
neither date work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So tell them to push it to November. Berks Public Works, the annual trade show is going to be Wednesday, October 1st. The road crew will be attending. We already had talked about that with them. We could probably just scratch that
I
off.
was gonna say just,
We'll scratch that off for next month because it'll go on by the time the meeting is anyway.
yeah.
Employer reviews. I started writing some stuff up, but I haven't had a chance to sit with Lisa or Carl, or have you sit with Lisa and Carl. Bottom line is they're both doing great jobs. We just need to put something formally into actual records so that we're doing the right thing as a board.
And we are allowed to, right, as second class township code
It's-
states,
Yeah,
we are allowed to sit with our employees and have a meeting as long as it's staff.
correct. We
Under
are
the
allowed,
Sunshine
we are permitted personnel meetings, and it is not a sunshine violation.
Awesome.
So that I have confirmed that with Colin.
Cool. Going
So-
forward.
I personally, as a board, I think if we're doing a performance review, it shouldn't be
Right.
narrowed in the sense of like, oh, you're just getting Pete's opinion, you're just getting Jesse's opinion, you're just getting the third person's opinion. We should be doing this as a board,
As a team.
as a team, with the person, where they're
Right.
able to have a constructive dialogue back and forth. If there was something that they needed to work on, that we could offer criticism and feedback and, commentary as a unit.
I think we should be doing it more too.
I'd like
Yeah.
to do it semi-annually.
Not even just reviews, just,
Yeah.
hey, team,
Yeah, well, the one thing I will say is,
what's going on?
I think we have a pretty good cadence of communication
We do.
between like the text messages. If there's something that Carl has, he texts you and I
Right, yeah.
and lets us know.
He does.
So, like, likewise with Lisa.
Yeah.
So I think we have a pretty good open communication stream back and forth.
Right.
But it is good to have that slight shift in dynamics of, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. Here's what you're doing good. Here's what you think maybe you need a little improvement on.
Not even
Here's
that,
some
just-
things that you think maybe we need to improve.
Just updates on where we
Yeah.
are at with things, getting stuff done and.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, like, we can do that at any time. One of the things that I was going to suggest to Carl, not that we need more paperwork necessarily, but we do still have that Trello board that I had set up that he could put something on there about like, hey, we're doing mowing. And then we'd all be able to see it.
I mean,
Or, you know,
One thing I like about Carl is I get a roadmaster report that I
Oh,
can
yeah.
read.
Yep.
And then I know what he did.
yeah, and say I actually have the
Like right here.
roadmaster report up that he gives
So-
us tasks that were addressed or brought up at the previous meeting,
So at
things
least,
that were completed and
Right.
things that are still scheduled. So he's very detail oriented, which is fantastic. So yeah, we'll work on that. But as just an informal, doing great. Keep up the good work. Act 537, as we mentioned, this month's meeting is going to have the sanitary sewer engineers. They're providing a report on current progress, what the
And-
current hurdles are, what the changes are,
and the cost
the
difference.
cost difference, and everything, just to kind of get a state of the union sort of situation on that project. There's no new business related to the Terra tracking or sewer management program. They'll also be providing updates at our September meeting. Road maintenance, Carl and I are still, largely Carl, for credit where credit is due, working on figuring out the punch list for the next 5 years of roads that we want to try to do, and in that order. We have to be a little flexible on that depending on if something blows up, but we'll have at least a path forward of things that we want to apply for grants, things that we want to try to do out of liquid fuels, things that we want to try to do out of general funding. The Sheridan Road South and drainage stuff, we rejected the second change order. The project is currently in the process of closing it out. That was they wanted to put more stone in on the sides, and we're thinking we should probably go with something a little more,
Go with the millings.
the millings and the asphalt.
Yep.
Which Carl is looking at. And we may actually have some leftover millings based on some of the road work that has started. So this might be a good,
Which is the changeover, which is the one we need to change over, issue on with the drain pipe that we just found out about?
that was,
I thought that was Sheridan.
was that Sheridan?
What was the question?
No, is it Marion Drive?
No, it's Marion Drive. It's
It's
Marion Drive.
Marion Drive. So there's a
Yeah.
pipe that we need to approve a change order on because there's a pipe there underneath the road that we
Yeah.
did not realize needed to be replaced and it's
Yeah.
collapsed.
Yeah, and there's also, I don't think it's on the agenda, but there's that one that's further out that is creating a sinkhole on the one side.
Yep. So do we want to approve that change order tonight?
Let's do it Thursday because we don't have it in front of us.
Oh God, which one's that?
It's Marion Drive. There's a change order.
I think it's Marion Drive.
Carl
further-
let us
further
know
out.
about it. It's in the text feed.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
for everybody's clarity, it's not Marion Drive by like Marianne Kepley's house.
Right,
It's Marion
it's
Drive, or Marion Drive going further out.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a pipe that's gone.
I think isn't near school or something?
Yeah, either way, it's one of the things that
need
we
to
had
put on the agenda,
previously
Yeah.
approved, but there's more to it because as they started
Yep.
peeling the onion away, we just keep crying.
Correct.
So we'll have to talk about that Thursday night, but again, I feel that's pretty open and shut by what Carl had texted us. It's
Mhm.
something that's broken that while we have it open, we should fix it
We
because
need
it's
to
gonna be a
fix
lot
it.
cheaper and it needs to be done. The extension of the stormwater pipe along Marion Drive is closed. All payments have been made, so we can take that off of the agenda. That one's solid. Bollinger Road, we're not gonna discuss because of the potential around litigation. Road issues, Carl is looking at getting some watch children signs. He's gonna be doing some painting, doing the crosswalks and things like that, but only after Main Street is repaved, because that is one of the things that we are doing this year.
Oh, the sinkhole at Forge, is that what the one you were?
Yes,
referring to?
that's the other one, is there's a sinkhole at Forge that we're still working with the engineer to figure out, needs and costs on, but that one's a little bit of a doozy. It's a pretty big sinkhole. They sent us a picture of Carl standing in it. So it's big. And we may, because of the size of it, we may actually even have to get like permits with the DEP for correcting that, because it's a big asshole.
Because we have a good relationship with
Yeah, I
them.
mean, we actually all considered. We've made strides in, again, playing nice with the other departmental
Yeah.
agencies. So I think we're in a better position to ask for that sort of thing now than we were like 8 years ago.
I hope so.
Road work, the good news is road work has started. This year we're going to be doing Main Street and Richland, School Road from Smalta to Church, School Road from Church to Marion Drive, and Woods Road. All of those things will be completed by October 31st per the contract. And then Canal, we're putting in Canal for a dirt and low volume gravel road grant. From talking to Carl, the reception of that from DCNR was actually very, very positive, and they wanted to do potentially more of Canal Road than we were even asking for. They wanted to do both lengths of it. So more to come on that, but the initial reception is positive on that.
Like it.
Peter,
Yes,
on the road work, the Lemming
Yep.
line, Annie.
it does. Yes. Yes.
So after I did the agenda Friday, and I did put the notifications out, Wednesday. I think, is it Woods?
Woods is the next one. Well, I know one of them that they started
Which one are they
knowing.
doing a seal coat on, the double seal coat?
The double seal coat is, I think, is the Woods one, because
Yeah.
wait, no. Woods is an actual lift, if I'm remembering that correctly, because Woods is pretty bad.
I would have to look back. At
I'd
the
have to look back, but I
notification.
think it's School Road from Church to Marion is the seal coat. But we'll check for Thursday night, and we'll bring that up.
Well, it'll be done on Wednesday before the
Okay,
meeting,
well,
so, but I did put the
look-
notification out.
I was
I'll
gonna
have
say,
to look at
double
it,
check it,
but-
make sure that it's notified correctly, and they are putting signage up. That's part of what was in the contract, is they're doing all the closures and, signage and whatnot.
The only thing they were supposed to do work on Tuesday.
And it rained.
And it rained. And then, I reached out because Carl's like, I don't see any, no parking signs up.
Okay.
So I reached out to them and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that Wednesday. I'm thinking, that's gonna be under 24 hours.
Yeah. So if you can, make sure either you or Carl being on vacation this week kind of makes it
Yeah.
difficult, but let's just make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do contractually, because that's part of what they have to do is proper notice.
And they should be notifying at least 24.
Minimum 24 hours, I believe, is the state requirement for that.
Okay.
And just as a side note with the lines like the double yellow and the white are included, but the crosswalks, Carl is gonna go back through and do the crosswalks.
Question, Lisa, did Carl tell John that he was on vacation?
I believe he did.
Okay, because that's another guy that needs to know, like when Carl's out and on vacation and other things are going on.
John was in that group text.
Okay, because I just want it well rounded.
Yeah.
So
No,
Abby and them are not just like gone because he's gone.
No, I'm very, very sure that they're all aware of that just by
Okay.
notification.
All right.
John's working schedule, he's
Right,
not
he's
gonna be
day
able-
shift on,
He's
right.
not gonna be able to do the
Yeah.
stuff that Carl does. Same thing with Abby. She's
Right.
part-time.
But that wouldn't stop us
but-
from sending a text out and saying,
Yeah.
hey, you're also a contact point for this.
Yeah, like if we had a tree down or something like that.
Right.
Like we could probably
Or
get
the signs
people-
out.
Yeah, and say
That-
we could get somebody rallied to go do it in the evening.
Right,
or
and I
during
could
the
do
day
it
or
too,
whatever.
but I just want everybody on the
Yeah.
same page.
Yeah, no, I think he got that covered with the text tree of notifying people.
Awesome.
The notification said additional road work will be Wednesday, September 24 on School Road and Woods Road.
Okay.
So I guess that's where they're doing the seal coat on School and Woods.
It's realistically at school, because like my understanding of Woods was getting a 2-inch or a 3-inch lift
Yeah.
on it.
Or they might be finishing up since they were day late.
Yeah. Either way,
So
they're doing work on
yeah,
those two roads,
right.
whether it's a seal or a
Yeah.
lift, but, okay, plugging right along. Blue Spruce, no new business on this at this time, because it's an open project. We're gonna keep it on the agenda. There was a pre-construction meeting for 85 Main Street, the Twilight Acres, on August 20th. Financial security was submitted but the insurance is still not finalized. We did get letters, for self-insurance, which we have endorsed. And they gotta get turned back over to the engineer and the lawyer and everything like that.
There's probably gonna be an update on this for Thursday night.
Yeah, a lot of the changes stemmed from, they want to change the construction entrance, from, where it is to 222. It's gonna reopen certain review things, alongside PennDOT, so we gotta see if they're actually gonna pursue that, because it's going to be a multi-month, very complicated process for them to do that. But hey, if they want to do that, that's on them. Alden on 6th, the intermunicipal agreement with Heidelberg Township. We had reviewed it at last month's meeting. We would need to adopt that resolution authorizing into the entry of that agreement. So Thursday night, we'll talk to Colin about that, and that should be pretty open and shut.
Okay.
I don't have any additional comments. Jesse, do you have anything?
Lisa, did you talk to Kraft and see what Kraft code is charging us to send out the notices of violation? And
It's $92 an hour for code enforcement. That includes driving around or crafting letters. That's flat rate.
$92 an hour.
$92 an hour.
So whether they're taking a picture in the township, it's $92 an hour, or if they're sitting at their desk drafting the paperwork, right?
Yep.
How much did we spend in that this year so far, did they say?
We'd have to check the.
I can get a.
We'd have to check the billing.
I'd like to check Kraft's billing.
Well,
Right. Well,
I was gonna bring up something.
Okay, cool, yep.
Yeah.
About checking stuff.
Okay. Any other comments?
that's it. I just wanted to know that number.
Okay. Lisa?
No, nothing really, no.
Okay. John?
If I can ask everybody that's here, I'm gonna put them on the table. As you leave, I'm putting out the emergency preparedness guides. If you can take at least 2, one for yourself and one for your neighbor. This is provided by PEMA because this is the preparedness month. Give it to your neighbors. There's a lot of information in here so you can be prepared if you have to leave your house. If it's flooding, tornado, whatever it might be, bomb scare.
World
You
War
have to
III.
leave.
Yeah.
And you take those with you.
Where's the drum?
What's that? Or a drum. There's nothing in there in the drum. And then the second thing, she's gonna kill me. If, like a public thank you for Lisa for the incident that happened out front here, stepping out and being a EMT again to treat a patient that was trapped under her car. And she went out and treated, there was some serious significant injuries.
So for everybody that missed out, because we didn't talk about it at the meeting, there was a lady who parked her car out here, not coming into the township building, but to go to like the cell phone place or something like that. Thought she put her car in park, but did not. So when she got out of the car rolled backwards and pinned her foot under it. And she was moderately injured. There was blood involved, but thanks to Lisa and Carl being here and springing into action quickly, they were able to help assist the woman and get her safe until the paramedics got here. So thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you, Lisa.
She did have multiple fractures and she was actually pinned under the car. They had to actually do the rescue.
Which brings back, not that this never happens again, but we have a very small kit here in this office.
We need a bigger
She
first
needed
aid
more
kit.
than ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like Band-Aids,
So
but.
tell me what you need. Tell Jesse what you need.
Yeah, I'm
And
not saying we need to get this elaborate trauma kit, but
having something a little more substantial.
Didn't we buy one for Carl? Didn't we buy a road kit?
We never got them.
Yeah, they didn't
Because
get
I
them
was
yet.
going through.
Because that's,
One issue was the company. I could not get them to accept our tax form, so I wasn't dealing with them. You're not gonna take our tax stuff, our tax exempt status. Well, we don't do that. No, you actually have to. Then it kind of fell, but I can still put it.
If you want to look into maybe
Yes.
one for Carl and one for here.
yeah, let's double up, because I know we had approved the first aid kit in the truck, the garage, and then like the full
Yeah.
tourniquet kits and
And
I have
stuff
all
like
my
that.
own stuff, so I don't need anything.
Yeah,
And have you had first aid training?
so
Well,
that actually,
recently-
She worked at a doctor's
yeah,
office.
I'm sure she probably did a
I
while
was an
ago.
EMT.
She's old
So-
school.
Yeah,
We should have at least one
I'm an
for
old
one.
school EMT.
One of the things that I had brought up before that I would absolutely love to see us do here is first aid training, CPR, infant CPR. Just have classes here a couple times a year for whether it's Lisa or just people in the township. It's just that, hey, we're going to put on a first aid training open to the public. Come show up, take the class.
Yeah, I'm for that too.
Yes,
I mean,
Steve Zimmerman
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Myerstown EMS has offered to do that for us.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't
Should be a
know.
heart attack kit,
The defib.
And
AED.
AED.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you do that, Peter, you need to
when you go to buy the
limit the
AED,
number of
you're gonna-
people, because they
Worried about
only have
$650.
Yeah.
X amount of practice dummies to work with.
Well, yeah, so that was one of the things we had talked to John about is
That was,
you
I
can
was,
do
I was gonna talk to you
classes.
guys privately about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was approved for purchase to stop the bleed kits and
Yep,
stuff like that, for to host training here.
Yeah.
I'd like to do at least quarterly for
Yeah.
free.
I'm
But
all for it.
there was another one of those, we're having issues with them with the tax exempt forms.
Yeah.
And then, I wanted to re-pursue it, but again, I wanted to ask you to.
Yeah.
Because it was approved before, I want to say it was about 1,300 for everything.
Yeah.
And
If it was
again, still
if it was
having the money in my
approved
budget.
Yeah, if it's in, the money's in your budget and you've already gotten it approved, then it's
Go
a
for it.
non-issue.
And Lisa,
Um,
I'll be down this week. You can order.
And then John, what I would ask, and I don't know if this would be the, guys, a little too loud. Would be maybe, I'm sure you have some other avenues, but can we see like either Reading Hospital or St. Joe's or somebody, if they would be willing to come out and do like CPR classes or
Yeah,
basic first
Steve
aid?
Zimmerman from Myerstown Ambulance
Yeah.
already said he would
Okay.
do that.
I had a card and everything when I was certified.
That's
years
where-
ago.
Yeah, that, like, if we can, if, I would love to
like-
have that be a thing
honestly,
that we
like
just
spring and
do.
fall, I'd
Yeah.
like to try to host that here to the
Yes,
public, but again, we're limited on how many people he can do.
yeah,
And again, they're doing it for free on their end.
yeah,
Yeah, I would need to get
have
recerted
150
in
people here 'cause
CPR.
we can't do that. What's
yeah.
that?
She needs to get
I would
recertified in
need to get
CPR.
recerted in CPR.
Yeah, I'm not currently certified in it.
Me either. My card's old.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I think that's a
done.
great thing that we as a township can help coordinate and say like, hey, we've got 15 spots open, RSVP.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll put it out on the website or social media if there's still openings that you can do walk-in for it. But spring and fall, we're gonna
Yeah,
host.
those dummies we don't need to buy because they
They
have
have
all
them.
that stuff already.
Yeah.
But the stop the bleed kit basically looks like an arm and a leg
Yeah,
that we can show to how to use a tourniquet and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um,
No, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah.
So get details.
I think an AED is gonna be very expensive.
What I was gonna say
Very
is
expensive.
They
they're
come, they
grants.
actually have come down. Well, I remember first AEDs, 3-4 grand. Now you're in the couple $100 range,
Well,
like Zols, but there's some decent ones.
Every
But
church right now.
yeah, so I mean, if it's not super expensive, we'll get it. Otherwise, that's a great thing to ask for in an LSA grant.
well, I've also asked Eastern EMS Council
Mhm.
on what grants and stuff are available for a public venue to have those.
Yeah,
That was a call last week, actually. I don't know how this came up, but I want to make, if we can, I wanted to make sure whatever we possibly get is what our local EMS, now they're actually using defibrillators, but I want to get the same pads.
yeah,
So if they come here and we had to use them,
Yeah.
we're not buying pads.
Constantly.
Hopefully, we're not having that many.
Yeah.
But they can just exchange them out
Yeah.
for us and we don't have to pay for
no,
them.
that makes sense. The interoperability is a good thing. The other thing, just while I'm spitballing, have we checked that fire extinguisher lately? Is it still charged?
Yes, they
Okay.
were just here,
Perfect.
right after we got in here,
That's a new
I
tag.
took care of that,
Okay,
yeah.
I hadn't looked at
The
it.
ones
I
in
was
the
just like,
Tags and the new tag.
The
Okay.
ones in the school building are not.
oh, no, those
Correct.
are out of.
But I will tell you, we should have them all updated in the garage bays.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, we had a couple places that we had worked through in the past. So
Yeah.
if the one in the garage being the important one needs to be serviced, then we just got to get that
Yeah.
done.
We already have a
Um,
contract with Kissel.
Yeah,
and
thank
that's
you,
who we
thank
have.
you. Dan,
Okay. When the township supervisor signed checks, do you take the time to look through the attached invoice that's with that check?
at the time of signing the check, yes,
I do.
You do, okay.
I do too. I can't guarantee you that
Especially-
I'm gonna retain all of that like
And
years
thank-
later.
Thank God
but
I do, because I noticed that there were multiple checks for
Yeah,
different bills in the stack this time. And
Yeah.
Some things caught my eye that, township engineer goes out and looks at a pothole on Thursday and charges us for that. And then goes out and looks at the same pothole on Friday and charges us again.
Yeah.
I think we need to be looking at and monitoring our township
Yeah.
engineer a little closer.
Yeah,
some
so-
of the stuff that I think we can do
Yeah.
is we do not need,
Right.
don't beat me up
Yeah.
for this. We don't need Colin up here every Thursday night and
No.
our engineer and all that. We can
Yeah.
cut them out of,
so.
maybe we start having them in here maybe once every 4 months or something like that.
So
Sorry
we-
to them, but I
no,
mean, they
no,
charge us a
that's-
lot.
That's fine. I agree with you. And the
We
reason,
only need Colin here for a legal
yeah, so,
thing that needs to be addressed. Instead of paying him the amount of money to sit there and doodle on his doodle pad.
yeah, that's,
Okay,
that's the idea, and that's what we used to do, but in in full disclosure, we've had enough stuff lately, whether it's what's the Bollinger Road or any of the road projects, the bid
That's
packets.
different.
Yeah,
That's
we've
He
had,
needs to be here for legal
Yes.
litigation.
we've had,
To sit here through a township
Yeah.
meeting.
we've had enough of that lately that it's been warranted, but that's the model that we used to use.
Money
is-
profusely.
We had, I want to say maybe 6 to 8 times out of the year, the attorney was here. 6 to 8 times out of the year, the engineer was here. But like I said, we've had a run of a bunch of weird, complicated crap where they've just both been here by necessity.
You
So-
you have to look at your agenda prior to and let him know he's not.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like every
Yeah,
month
yeah.
we talk about
every,
tall trees.
yeah.
Well, we
They're not
already,
tall.
I've heard Colin talk about it so much, I think I can,
Yeah, I think we could
verbatimly-
just repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And please.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
the invoices that are attached to your check.
No, we
they
do.
are,
We
they
do.
are, believe me, it gives you a migraine when you look at it.
Yeah, one of the ones, because I actually think I know which one you're talking about, looking at the pothole, was the sinkhole that we
That's
were
the
talking
sinkhole.
That
about.
was on Fort Road.
Yeah, and that was a
And
situation.
it was ridiculous, the number of times that it was looked at.
Yeah, the ridiculous thing is we went out and looked at it, and then we had a meeting with somebody else from a governmental agency who looked at it, and then we had the insurance that came out and looked at it to see if we could file it with insurance, and then we had
paid for every one of
the-
those.
I know, but it was not something that could easily have been consolidated into one visit because of the amount of people that are involved in this.
Even Marion
That
Drive,
made sense by
Yeah.
the engineer.
that was another one.
Yeah. So that is something that we do keep an eye on, and it is something we're aware of. Sometimes it's the product of necessity, but sometimes you're right, there's a little, maybe a room for improvement on that.
I'm monitoring these things. I don't.
Oh, yeah,
just
no, and that's,
They got it checked.
no, the more people that are grilling this, the better, in my opinion. So
And you do a fine job with your reporting.
Yeah, so
I
you're
like
doing-
your
you're doing-
reporting.
doing good so far, Dan. Keep up the good work.
You're welcome.
And maybe you need to make them aware too, you know,
Yeah.
we're monitoring
Oh, yeah.
how much our monthly bills are, you know what I mean, that
We'll
hopefully they think twice.
we'll pass it over and challenge on that. Okay, if we don't have any other open items, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Time is now 10:39.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter,
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
You were looking at me, I'm like, can you say?
I just wanted to see you smile.